Hi, it's me, TG. This is something that's going to be very interesting. I had a talk with somebody from America. It was his first trip to Malaysia. That is about mid of April. And what he said, which is true and I actually know about it, but it really brings home the point that as compared to Western developed countries, what we have in Malaysia is actually 180 degrees of what they have in most of the developed countries. I'm saying most, not all. If you want to share your opinion and if you want to talk to me, with or without MM2H, you can always email or WhatsApp me. As what I said in an earlier video, it used that Malaysia was encouraging a lot of those who knew about Malaysia to come here and stay, whether it is for retirement or relocation and working abroad. But after 2010, there are many who are actually making the first move. And this first move is the first time they visit Malaysia. So there are many things that are new to them, and some of them are like a complete culture change, a complete culture shock. And I would say probably most of it are pleasantly surprised. Let me just share with you a few things that people have in mind when they come and visit Malaysia. And they try to bring their opinion and they try to see how the way their system works as compared to here. I give you an example. Identity theft in Malaysia is not common even 20 years ago. Yes, people may argue with me, especially Malaysians, that yeah, it does happen. I'm not saying it did not happen. I'm saying that the frequency is so much less compared to Western developed countries. Even if I give you my identity card, my bank statements, with the bank account number, it is plastered everywhere, bank account numbers and everything. Basically, you cannot actually do anything. You cannot actually steal money from it. Bank account numbers are plastered everywhere on the internet and everything. But if you talk to somebody from United States or even UK, they are so scared of the bank account numbers that they even want to redact it or to hide it. So we do have problems when we want to submit applications and our clients say, no, we are not going to show any bank account numbers. So it's very hard to tell them that the system in Malaysia, it has been in place for a long time. These things has happened for a long time, like this identity theft that is very rare. It just surprises me that why developed countries are not practicing this. But a country like Malaysia, deemed by many as being backwards, less developed, but we have this system that makes it easier. So some people complain that, it is very difficult to transfer large sums of money across accounts and everything. Well, for good reasons, because Malaysia is trying to reduce the damage caused by scams. So the daily transfer limit is not really a lot, unless you specifically increase it. By default, I think it is 3,000, 5,000? I'm not sure. But it is not a lot. That is by design. Sometimes we do have difficulty explaining to people unless those people, those foreigners have already stayed in Malaysia for a long time. So some of them may feel like, yeah, it's so inconvenient and everything. But look at it at the other bright side, is that if something really happens to you, the losses will be low compared to other countries. Now, mortgages, underwriting standards for loans, credit cards is very high, the standards. It means that if you want to get a loan, if you want to get a mortgage, even if a factory wants to get loans to expand, credit cards, it is not easy at all. In fact, there is a limit as of today. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is 30% of your monthly gross salary, where your monthly installment shall not be more than 30%. Why all these things? Malaysia is not a big fan of debts. If you look at the debts, yes, it is not low, but comparatively with other countries, it is certainly lower than developed countries. And the Malaysian government wants to make sure that its citizens have been taken care of. The Central Bank of Malaysia has very strict guidelines on foreign money coming in. Yes, you can bring money in, you can bring money out, but you must satisfy the money laundering thing. There are no restrictions. Insurance underwriting standards are very high, and thus the denial of claims is very low unless it is fraudulent or non-disclosure. Everything is tightly controlled or regulated to the point that we are not worried about losing our money in the bank. Yes, we do have deposit insurance like those FDIC. But then we are not worried. Just go to the big banks, Maybank, Public Bank, or whatever bank. Just download the report, the annual report, and you can see for yourself that banks are making big money, because we do have something similar to the Glass-Steagall, where there are no commingling of funds and there are no combination of retail banking and investment banking in one entity. They are two separate entities. So the banking here is very different. They don't print money, willy-nilly, and they have strict regulations. And the banks make money from the difference, the spread between the deposits and the loans. So do some research, talk to me, and we will tell you some of the things that you will be pleasantly surprised.